Hi, I'm Emily Hayes, a senior writer with The Pink Sheet. I'm here at the Biotech Showcase in San Francisco, where we're meeting some of the presenting companies at the meeting. And here with me I have Nazneen Dewji of Cenna Biosciences in San Diego. Nazneen, can you tell me a little bit of the history of your company?
Well, we are a startup, a biotech startup working on Alzheimer's disease. We are a spin-off out of UCSD. The company was founded in 2006, and we are developing a disease-modifying drug. We're translating over a decade's academic research into this drug for Alzheimer's disease.
And is this your first time presenting at the Biotech Showcase?
It is, okay. Yes.
And so what are you looking to achieve? What are your goals and what are your experiences so far?
Well, like most people here, obviously, I'm looking for a little money to continue our development, but also much more than that. Really, it's so exciting to see so many people working in biotech and all the investors under one roof. And I'm hoping to network and meet more people and just learn a little more about the process.
And so when you say a little bit of money, how has the company been financed so far, and what are you looking to achieve in the next couple of years?
So far we've been financed entirely by the NIH, exclusively by the NIH, and my partner and I, John Singer, and I have put in some of our own money. So it's just the founders and the government. So we're completely non-diluted. We're looking, we think the time is right now to start looking for some serious money. And so we're looking for about $5 million to bring us to the next milestone, which is to file an IND with the FDA so we can go into humans, which would be in about a year's time.
And so where's the unmet need in Alzheimer's disease, and how could your company fill that need?
So there is no disease-modifying drug available. There are only 2 FDA-approved drugs that correct the symptoms for a short time, for about 6 months. As you know, unfortunately, there have been a lot of failures, particularly in the amyloid space. And Cenna has a completely different approach. Most of the failures have worked with the enzymes that cleave A-beta out of its precursor, APP. Enzymes have more than one substrate, and so you found there were a lot of side effects, a lot of non-target effects that were happening. Also, I think there was a problem with clinical trials in that people these therapies were given to people too late when the damage was already done. Cenna has a completely different approach. A-beta is a terrific target. It's the first insult that happens. We have a way of reducing the production of A-beta by a process where we have these peptide candidates, and these peptides bind the precursor, leaving the catalytic activities of the enzymes untouched. And so by binding APP, our technology stops the processing, the further processing of APP into A-beta. So it's very specific, very early, and does the job.
And so with so many failures in the space, how do you go about persuading investors that your idea actually would work?
By educating them. You know, unfortunately what's happened is with all the failures, people think of A-beta and their eyes glaze over, you know. They say, oh, it's a bad target. It is not. It's a terrific target. And so once you explain to them why things have failed and how our technology can address these failures, really we have a way of avoiding the very things that made the therapies fail. I'm hoping they come around to accepting our way of thinking.
And so you said that you're already thinking about the IND. Do you have thoughts about what sort of phase 1 trial you would conduct, what the design would look like?
Well, we're a little early for that. we still have a year to go. We're still writing our clinical protocols, but phase 1 trials are typically very small, and we think they'll happen in this country. So that's all I can tell you at this stage.
And are there other drugs that are in the pipeline that you think look promising and that are in line with the way you view Alzheimer's drug development?
So when the inhibitors of gamma and beta secretase failed, people started modulating. So it's tweaking the enzyme activities so that they would produce shorter fragments of A beta rather than the 42 amino acid fragment. And those in some cases I think are showing some promise, but I think what's really exciting is the new data by Biogen, for instance, where they're seeing a positive difference in the clinical and in the cognitive endpoints with amyloid therapeutics. Of course, those are monoclonal antibodies, but it means amyloid is a good target. I think, you know, with our approach, I think the chances are very good that we may be able to bring down A beta without any of the side effects that have confounded the other therapies.
And what kind of partnerships are you looking for ideally, and where do you see yourself ideally in the next 5 years?
So our model is to take this, develop our candidates to phase 2A or 2B, and then hopefully get acquired by a pharmaceutical company. As such, then, we're looking for partners that would support the development of our drug. We don't want to just hand it over right now to a third party. We would like to be involved in the actual development, but with the idea that that partner would then take over the marketing of the drug.
And how many candidates are you looking to develop? I know that there's been one that has been mentioned in the media reports.
So we have 2 independent candidates, one better than the other, and that's the one that's the furthest along, but we still want to develop the other one too, P4. And we also have another backup plan with small molecules that may bind to the same areas that on APP that the peptide candidates do.
How important is it to have an oral drug in Alzheimer's? It seems like in some ways there's willingness to trade off efficacy for that.
So if you talk to the pharmaceutical companies, they have this model. They like a once-a-day oral drug. Peptides don't make very good oral drugs because they get broken down in the gut. Our peptide can be delivered in rats intranasally. So, you know, intranasal delivery is a very good way of getting these drugs to the brain. I don't think oral would work for the peptides.
Mm-hmm. And how can viewers find out more about your company?
Well, we have a website, and they can contact me.
Mm-hmm. And what is the website address?
www.cennabiosciences.com.
Thank you, Nazneen.